Joachim?
Joachim.
Joachim,
You got it.
that's right. I knew I was going to say it wrong, and I'm
it.
usually really good with names. Good sir, how are you?
I'm very good.
Hi, it's nice to have you on air with us today.
I'm so glad you put that on the popcorn. That is the perfect use for it.
Well, it started there, and of course this could be for steaks or for fish or for chicken or so many of the entrees that we're making. But what I love about you is that first of all, you're a chef. You're a co-creator of Chef Salt, and we're going to go through the 3 varieties in just a second. But you're also an award-winning cookbook author, and so you really wanted to sort of take us on a trip around the world with one of the blends, and the other ones you just kind of wanted to make our life easier with things that you would do in your own kitchen.
Exactly, yeah. My whole goal is to make cooking easier for people and more delicious. I've written a number of cookbooks, and I developed this product with another chef, and we wanted to make it easier for people to make great food at home.
And these are gorgeous, by the way.
We
even
like to
when
say,
you see them.
Oh, they are, yeah. I mean, this one really shows off what you were saying about the salts all around the world.
Now this is the 7 salt blend.
This is 7 salt. So this is just salt and pepper, and you can use it just like salt and pepper.
But look at this, you're saying, wait a minute, just salt and pepper. Why isn't it just black and white? There's large crystals, and there's flakes, and there's grains, and there's colors. So 7 different places from around the world.
Exactly, so this is all adding texture, it's adding flavor, because these salts come from oceans that are very high in various minerals. There's a salt in here that's high in sulfur. So that's gonna add a different flavor to the food than if you were just adding like table salt, it's just going to taste like sodium. So you're getting more flavor. That's essentially what it is.
And texture. So that's one of the blends that you're getting, and we're getting 2 other blends. One is called Tuscan Herb, and one is called New York Steak. So what's the second one?
This one is Tuscan Herb. So this has rosemary, sage, and it has a salt from Cervia in Italy. And this is actually the oldest salt works in the world that produces this salt.
Really?
And it's a beautiful salt. It crunches very softly on the tongue. You can just sprinkle this on vegetables like we have here.
Oh, may I?
Oh yeah, go for it. So you can do this before and after. I like to sprinkle some on before with a little bit of oil, and then you grill the vegetables, and then you can sprinkle a little bit on as a finishing seasoning as well.
Goodness, it's so aromatic.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as you open the jar of that one is really something special.
Right, all these forest herbs in here. There's some rosemary and thyme. And this one, the third one, is New York Steak.
Look at that.
So now look at the texture of that. Look at just this is not just salt. I mean, the point here is these are very special salts that come from these unique salt ponds and salt works around the world. So this one has a salt from France, and it's a gray salt. It's very wet, and when you put it on the top of a steak, it doesn't dry out the surface of your steak.
It kind of melts in.
It creates a great crust. Like if you see the steak over here, we have the New York steak in the steak. We also have it mixed into the burgers.
You know
but
what?
It creates such a great crust.
To your point about that, if I go to a steakhouse, this is the way the steak comes out to me, and I've always wondered, what exactly are they putting on there?
Coarse salt, coarse pepper, and that's what we have in there.
Beautiful.
Yep. There's also a little ancho chili. But so it's summer, right? Grilling season. This is the easiest way to use it, is just as a rub. Sprinkle it on a piece of fish, chicken, beef, whatever it is you're cooking, but
this is how I started. I have made, I go through great lengths. I always make popcorn on my stovetop. I'm kind of picky about my popcorn. And when I saw it, I was like, all right, I'll try it on the popcorn. And I haven't been doing it any other way ever since I got it.
I'm really happy to hear that, because this is just the perfect use for it. You could sprinkle this one on scrambled eggs, popcorn, tuna fish, whatever you're using salt and pepper in, use chef salt instead. Like, why just season with plain salt when you can season with something that is actually giving you a lot more flavor?
Okay, so this is just a cracker, but the goat cheese has something mixed into it. Which did you use here?
So this is a log of goat cheese that is rolled in the Tuscan Herb blend.
The Tuscan Herb. So you take the log of goat cheese and then you just let it get a little soft, and then you roll it in the
Tuscan Herb, and then you can wrap it back up in plastic, put it in the fridge, and then you have that ready for guests if they stop by. Anytime you want a little appetizer, you can pull that out, and it's delicious.
So I'm a lover of goat cheese. I love its creaminess, I love its tang, but this Tuscan seasoning blend makes this sing, because it's very savory to go along with that creaminess.
I'm so glad it's coming through. It's the salt. The salt is very special. I mean, it's hard to describe. You really have to taste it, and I'm glad you're tasting these things, because that's when you realize how different this salt is from a typical table salt or any other salt that you're using. It's the high mineral content of these special salts. They're coming from all around the world, so whatever minerals are in the sea that the salt is evaporated from, they're ending up in the hot salt.
And you know what? Seasoning is not the same across the board. If you're still getting that blue container with the girl with the umbrella. That's something, but that's not what I would want to be putting on my steaks and what I'd want to be putting on chicken and even pasta. So what did we put on the pasta?
Pasta has the Tuscan herb.
That's Tuscan herb as well.
Yep. So you can mix that one into a jar of tomato
So even
sauce.
just
Here we just have
pasta,
it with.
oh my gosh.
Here we just have it with olive oil. You know, this is just pasta cooked with olive oil, some cherry tomatoes that are cut up, a little bit of basil, and the Tuscan herb blend.
That
so simple.
Kills me right there, because this is so much more flavorful than so many sauces, like tomato sauces that I've actually used, and it's just olive oil and the seasoning. So I need to let you know that over 400 of these have now been spoken for, and it's not a choice of. You're getting all 3 of the blends that we're talking about here. And we're very busy on the phone lines. Please use automated ordering. This might be a nice way if you've got those Kansas City steaks or some of the other things that we have in the show, or maybe the burgers. They do come with a seasoning blend on their own, but try not using that. Try using this on your burgers and on your steaks, on the chicken, and see how, even on your vegetables and your pastas, see how different it can make everything.
Now, I don't know if you noticed here, but there are some recipe cards here on the table. These also come with the jars, and these are just very quick recipes, quick ideas on what to do. So here's
stir-fried shrimp and eggs.
Yes, super simple, and all the recipes fit on the back of a business card, so they're very short and easy.
So there's one of them right there. So that would be with the 7-salt blend. And this is something else I wanted to mention. You're getting all 3 of these for $29.82. To scour the world for the finest salts and the finest seasonings, that takes a lot of work, there's a lot of passion, and there's a lot of know-how. All salts are very different for very different reasons, and if you want to make the most out of your food, you should be using the best salts and seasonings on those basic perfect ingredients. That chicken breast, that New York strip steak that you might want to be cooking up, because seasonings can make or break that amazing steak that you just spend all that money per pound on.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about, as I'm a avid griller, and I talk about using a rub or a seasoning rather than a marinade, because you pull the food out of the marinade and all of the flavor stays in the bag or whatever you marinated. With a rub or chef salt, you rub it on the outside and you're eating all of that seasoning. So here's a recipe card for the burger. This is another use of it. You mix it into, you could mix it into burgers, you could mix it into sour cream to make a dip.
Love it.
There are all sorts of uses for chef salt.
And you know what? I believe over 800 are gone, and we've got about 500 people on the phone lines. $29.82. Grilling is a great time to